ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Space Engineers. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Tator. Tator, say hello. Hello. Can we wave? We can't. Whatever. So, come closer. Closer still. Too close. Too close. We didn't even move at all. We can try that again. Let's see. Come closer. Too close. Anyways, welcome back to the channel, guys. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Welcome to Space Engineers Apex Survival. Huge update introducing all sorts of things that I've not messed with hardly at all yet. So in this, first and foremost, we're going to take a look at the blocks. We're going to look at the new blocks. We're going to look, and none of the mechanics are on. I don't know. I'm going to have to check and see if the HUDs, because I'm using a modded HUD, and obviously I'm working out of one of my games current playthrough, the 2025 series playthrough. But basically, I don't know if the new HUDs or the fancy HUDs give you, if they've been updated yet to house food, so we may have to disable that if we are to play with Apex. So we'll look at this in a second. So first and foremost, what the Apex Survival brings is this free stuff, free. And basically, you get a couple of different things. You basically get a food block, which I believe I have on my bar somewhere over the rainbow. Food, we just type in food in your G menu, do like this. You get some blocks. You get an algae farm. You get a food processor. You get a farm plot, an irrigation system, and then a half algae farm. So, first, the food processor. This is where the magic could happen at some point, but doesn't currently happen. Essentially, what you can do with this is by accessing this little cargo port here, you can do a couple of things. You can essentially have it create meals based on your inputs and the necessary supplies. If you have all the meats, fruits, vegetables, etc., you can have it craft the food, or you can have it harvest food. So if you pick up some fruit, some grain, some vegetables, or some mushroom spores, you can have this turn the grain, fruit, vegetables, etc. into these items. So if we spawn in really quick, so let's get some mushrooms. If we spawn in, I don't want 25,000 of those. I just would like one. So this is a mushroom. This is what the food crates are going to look like when they drop out of stuff. So if you grind something down that has food in it, it's going to look like this. You collect that. You then come here and you say, all right, I'm going to input my mushroom. Then I'm going to come here, production. I would like to go to the harvesting tab, and we're going to create one mushroom set of seeds. And then we go back to inventory, we take our seed out, and if you look in here now, nope, wrong button, you look in here now, we can throw that out. That is what a seed pack looks like, and it has a design on the other side. I have been marginally unsuccessful flipping it over, so maybe if okay, what if we run backwards? Nope, that's not gonna work. We throw it out now. Nope, I can't get it to flip to the other side. But it does have another side to it. So food processor. This is going to be how you make all of your major food items, meals, and there's tons of stuff. You can get meat products from certain animals, mammal meat, insect meat, and then there's algae, which comes from the algae farm. I say algae. Thank you, Moana crustacean guy, the guy who sings Shiny. Algae. Anyways, he's also from IT crowd, I believe. So meal packs, some of them are very easy to make, and they do various things based on your, like that gives you 40% health, this gives you 22%. So the heartier the food, the more percentage you get, all the way up to the steak dinner and stuff, you get 100% for essentially, this is a meal pack called Frontier Stew. So that's it. This is the irrigation system. This is how you water your plants. You put ice into this, and it will send water out of various conveyor ports to fill up your things. And we'll go take a look at that in a second. You've got a conveyor port here, here, and here. For the food processor, you have one here, here, and one on the bottom. So it's three-sided, but not left, right, or forward. So pretty useful block, kind of. It's like essentially a T block. You could place it in things. This is the flat-mounted algae farm, mounted upside down. But if we were to look at it normally, it would look a lot like this. And this just generates algae via direct sunlight. And then we also have the new flat oxygen farm. And these have a single port right in the middle on the back, so it's kind of like a cool window thing you can take a look at. And I've got them up here. I have the old school oxygen farm, which looks like this. The new school oxygen farm, which looks like that. And it very much, or this is an algae farm, it very much um, works great for this specific intended purpose to use for like a solar panel. So algae is going to be one of the first foods you can get. So this is going to be something sort of like oxygen on a planet. You plop up with one of these, your solar tower for energy, and you got something looking like this. And it is mountable. You can mount stuff to this square portion of the upright. This is the full-size algae farm. That's what that looks like. Very similar to the oxygen farm, which is down here. And we'll take a look at that block in there. But you can mount things kind of to it to the point that it gives you the opportunity to build out these things and kind of have a nice, like, all in one. This is giving you food, air, and power. Standard solar setup. So, what the upright algae farm looks like, though, is this right here. It's a good looking block. You have little like lights, blinky stuff all over the place. The flat sides here, I believe you can mount. Yeah, you can mount all the way up and down this, whereas this you can only mount at the bottom. But indicator for how direct sunlight it's in, all that kind of stuff. And I think it even current progress is 79% being able to create one, and it has its own little inventory. It has 180 liters of algae, which looks like this. So you can come here, you grab that algae right there, you run over to your food processor, and you say, "Excuse me, sir, I would like for you to process this into algae crisps." And an algae kelp crisp takes 4 algae, so it is not a cheap food. So having plenty of those propped up, because those also don't give you a ton of food. So having plenty of those propped up. This is the farm plot. This is another free block that comes with the thing. This, when you click on it, it'll say water level, the type of water, the type of crop that's in there, if there is one. It'll also give you the health of that thing, and basically all crops have a health level, and at that health level, they slowly tick down. And then that's kind of it for the free blocks. Now, if we run into here, I've built a little greenhouse setup in space because plants obviously die at the exposure of vacuum and different radiations and stuff like that. But like I was saying here, you come here, check out the crop. Crop health is 100%. Water level's high, meaning that I have ice in this hydration system right here. Um, that allows us basically like this is creating water and it uses the water, fills these up, and as long as these are full, they'll stay at full health. Now, once the crop is fully grown, you see the growth progress is 100% for these. What do we have here? This is vegetables. That's what vegetables look like in the plot. This is grain, I believe. And take a look. Grain in the plot. These are at 78% growth. And then this is fruit at 67%. Fruit, and then mushrooms are at 100%. Now, once these things run out of water, the health slowly ticks down over time. So if you want to keep just a basis, and their water consumption uses zero point 0.8 liters because it's 100%. So this is a tenth of what it would normally use. Whereas this is also down. That's a tenth of what this uses in growth. But like the grain, for instance, whilst it's growing, 16 liters, and whilst this is growing, 20 liters for fruit. So pretty intensive water usage. Um, I would think that you might have an ice system set up specifically for your, or like a segregated system where you put ice in the system specifically for this, for watering plants, and then you'd have an ice system for your O2, H2 generation, things like that. Turret controllers for that up there. This is my auto harvesting system I planned to check out, and I haven't done this yet, obviously, because I just haven't. But my thought would be basically um, that you would be able to Um, use collectors, which you can use collectors on this. I'm gonna do a quick crop collectors, and then we'll show you this like so. So to harvest, there's a couple of different ways to do that. Um, Toggle on, off, reverse, and there's a couple of different ways to do that. And so my idea would be you plop these things out. This would come forward, and I think that might be low enough. If it's not, we can always add a hinge, point it slightly down. But these should be able to slurp up all of these things. The other way to harvest is you obviously click on the plant thing and click harvest. Now, if you harvest the plant when it is at less than 100%, you will get less back from it. I do know that much. I know that for a fact. So it goes down based on the crop health and things like that. And then also if you expose the plant, and we can, what we'll do, I'll take a copy of this whole base section. We'll just plop this out over here, and we can go back to the other things. So if I stick this right here, two things. We can do one test. So like I've got this set up so that this is airtight, that you could build a whole hallway around this thing and make it look fancy. But you see these crops perfectly healthy, everything. We just delete this, we expose them to the vacuum. These plants should very quickly die. You can see crop health 16%. They've all, and they're dead. Just like that. It doesn't take much. It does not take much at all to nuke these guys. And then now when you come in and you harvest, you're gonna get did not survive, the plot will be cleared, no items will be collected. So there's that. That is what that kind of looks like. It's not too bad. I mean, it's crazy, but it's like basically don't expose your plants to the vacuum of space. Don't expose anything that needs oxygen to the vacuum of space. This also counts for storms. So if you're on if you're on Mars or any of the planets that have major storms, it will also impact them. So now, if we look, crop health's 100%. They're not grown. They're not done growing yet. We'll test the collecting in a second, and we'll see how that goes. Um, but yeah, if you wanted to, so for your standard collecting, your standard process farming, come over here. We said these are complete, right? These are 100% growth process. You harvest, and I got 2 plants back that I can then turn into seeds. Um, 3 mushrooms, and yeah. So it even gives you a warning. When it's not fully grown, collecting it early collecting it will destroy it. So that means I don't think you get anything. Let's test it. So yeah, we got nothing for that. We just nuked it because they weren't fully grown. So you cannot harvest early. So the only thing that impacts yield is if the crop health is less than 100%, and it is fully grown. So we'll that's it. So the blocks, like I said, so you get these. These are the ones that come for free. If we want to take a look at how they color, um, this is the coloring going from gray to red, um, orange. I can kind of see where the coloring stands out, stuff like that. Nothing too crazy. There's still some gray spots on there, some framework and stuff. Now, if you are so inclined to give Keen your hard-earned dollary dues, and you wanted to, you get DLC blocks. Currently, it is $4.99 for the Apex Survival DLC. You get quite a few stuff. So this is the OG round door, and I don't know if you've ever built with him, but you'll remember that it's irritating that it only has one direction. So Keen was so kind to offer us an alternative. And I don't know if this is part of the DLC with regards to, is this part of the update or is it part of the DLC? I don't know. I have the DLC, so I can't. It seems to be they just added in. So they finally added in the alternative block. So you see there are 2 different directions. So you can have one on either side. It's beautiful. It's great. We're gonna need to summon the power of Ra. Okay, Ra. Thanks for helping. You're good. You're a good man. Appreciate you. So, the next DLC blocks we get are some pipeworks and these cool spinning rotating plants thing. I don't think they do anything. In fact, I'm pretty positive they don't do anything. There's no conveyor ports. They're just a decorative block similar to the vegetable thing. But how very expanse and sci-fi feeling to have your rotating wall plot stuff. I'm sure at some point someone is going to create a mod that will turn these into potential growing plots so they actually do produce something. You can stack them because you can see through them. You can stack them like this and create like an infinite mirror sort of effect. I think it looks cool. Some very interesting stuff. I love the way this looks. This is a neat block, and it is called the Inset Planter. The next thing you get are all these neat doodads. These are sort of like the LED lighting. So a lot of people have used the LED lights or the neon tubes. The neon tubes block has been used to great effect um, to produce pipeworks, to things that look like pipes. You got little junctions, you've got all the blocks, things like that, and they've been used to great effect to basically create greebling for blocks and give like your designs and stuff, some shape and stuff like that. Well, no longer needed because Keen has provided us with wonderful conduit piping. We've got this junction box, which, for any electricians out there, this looks like if you go into a server room or a facilities room in a larger site, you'll see stuff like this. And yeah, we got this. We got a junction turn or an L, if you will. We've got the curve turn, and I can be showing you this in real time. Maybe I can show you in real time. I don't actually know. Oh, yes, I can. So, we've got ourselves, and that's what looks great. We've got ourselves a. I do like the danger one here. Like it's got the nice orange lettering and stuff on it. So you get yourself a box like that. You've got one with a light. This is new. I love this. So like in addition to your groovling, you can have lighting and stuff. So you can have those cool corridors. Imagine walking down the hallway and you've got one little light box there. I love that. And that looks like that in gray. Um, Very cool. The adjustments for the lighting, I don't know. You'd have to go in and search the conduit lighting if you didn't use build vision, but you can obviously change the color of it if I can find my mouse. Get a nice little purple hue going. Beautiful, very emissive. I love it. So yeah, and then moving on, we get extra. So the conduit piping, you get the lighting, you get the corner, conduit junction corner, you get the conduit curve corner. You've got the turn down for what, which just looks like it's this little piece here if you're taking a look at it, if we're keeping track. This thing to curve up and stuff to keep your piping flowing. You get a nice damaged piece, which is this right here, nice sparking effects. I don't think there's anything. You can turn off the sparks. That's cool. Useful. I don't think there's anything else really you can do with it outside of that, but that is nice that you can turn it off. That way you can have the damaged look without the constant flashing and stuff. Then you get yourself this piece here, which we're seeing as a curve block like this. And you have to learn how to use them. But like, so if you wanted to make archways with conduit, you could do that. That's great. And then these, I love these conduit transition pieces. So if you had like for instance, on this side, the block is on this side, so we could delete this. We could go up, and then now I can attach a block over here, um, where this wouldn't normally match up on this side. So nice transition pieces that allow us to go up and then you can go back across. And I think that's cool. And then just a standard conduit straight pipe. Very, very cool. I like these things. These will be great. I know a lot of people who do a lot of the greebling and stuff like that are going to love using these things instead of the neon tubes. I imagine we'll see places for both. I don't actually know, thinking about it. Let me see. I didn't check this actually. Shame on me. But there is, let's run over here really quick. We got ourselves a small grid device. Just right here. They do not. There are no, no, well, we can't do that. Is there a food processor in small grid? There's not. So, that's good to know. I didn't know that. I'm not thinking. We learned that together just now. Lovely. All right. So, moving down, so we got our conduit pieces, lovely, love it. Now the big game, these are not better tools, but they're better looking tools. The DLC comes with a wonderful set of um, new tools, new ship tools. We have the welder, and I have this both in large and small grid, which is wonderful. And if we want to take a look at what that looks like from a standpoint of coloring, so this is the gray. We need to summon Raw once more. Excuse me, Raw. I need you to come back to work for me. Nope, wrong way. There you go, buddy. Right, just right there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So if we color it, that's what the orange welder will look like. This is the new welder. This thing looks great. Little caution signs on there. It says Weldo, I guess. Danger. It looks awesome. Just super great. Large conveyor port on either side, plus one on the bottom. Same with the grinder, large conveyor port on the side here, and then one on the bottom. I think that's the way the original one is designed. Let's take a look. 7. So if we look at the original, yeah, same design, just but look at the difference. If we take a look at those versus the old and busted versus new hotness. Look at that. Like this still looks good, but the detailing, the work, man, they really killed it. I think it looks incredible. Um, so and then if we want to take a look at the new grinder, uh, this one looks more danger zone. This one looks a little bit more industrial. I love the way it looks. I like that it just says grind or GRNO. Is I guess that might be a D. Probably a D and not an O. But the it looks at the little handle here, so like if you were having to like in space hold on to it and fix stuff, pistons and stuff to keep it stable, it just looks really industrial. Looks really cool. I really enjoy it. And same amount of 46,000 liters of space. 46,000 liters, no change there. Just a better look. Better look, and I also like that the conveyor port down in there like definitely has a little bit better than just gaping yellow hole. And then, my brain can't work right now, but that's okay. No one needs a brain. The old drill, old school drill, we know what it looks like. Says drill, very very drill-like. And this one looks like a freaking industrial excavator. Those giant dudes that you see in the desert. 70,000 liters of space. I believe it's the other one. Same as the thing. Three, if we use our little ship skill tool, you can see port there, port on all four sides, just like the other drills. Beautiful. Well, I mean, this thing looks incredible. It's got all these pistons and hydraulics to keep it stable. This like heavy machinery feel to it. This side down, which is neat. Just all the text and stuff. They just great job. They killed it with these things. These things look incredible. This is to me. I wish they had scaled tools like and would need to be a mod where you could like the different like levels of tool, but they don't. So this is them on small grid. So for the drill, we've got small ports here and a small port on the bottom. So we look, it's actually attached to a single small port there, but it also just looks incredible. Let's turn our flashlight on. That might help a little bit. It just looks incredible. Like same great detail of design. It just looks great. The small grinder, same thing. Now this grinder's just like the other ones. They have one large conveyor port on the bottom, and that is it. Same with the welder. You see large right there, and that is because certain parts can't travel through. A lot of parts can't travel through the small grid ports like ore and things can. So that's what it's for. But the grinder, it just looks good. And if we take a look at, let's color them yellow what they look like colored. Let's see what this guy looks like colored. If you guys want to see that, you can see all the parts that stay gray. Just looks super good. Ooh, you know what we should do? We're gonna do because battered is a great set battered armor right there. So this is yellow battered for the grinder and for the yeah, look at that. And then if we wanted to do rusty, you can see how that. Oh my gosh, get off my screen. See how that looks with the rust versus the way it used to look there. Like just gives it a little bit of weatherness, and that's heavy rust, I believe. And then battle damage uh, looks like battle damage. I guess take this one out. Go back to red for these guys. That's battle damage there. I don't think corrugated is going to have a texture at all. No, it's not. It's just going to look kind of farm usey and stuff. Like you can see here, you've got like splinters and damage and stuff like that. Let's see what else. What's another good one? I think this is weldless. Yeah, weldless. Oh, mossy when you're on Earth and you're like digging up and it just no, that looks terrible. I don't the mossy one is such a hard texture to use, in my opinion. I know. Energon low. Thank you, Susan. I appreciate you. I'm not gonna do oh, we will. We're gonna do the cow texture for that. Just so you guys know what it's like to be a pretty cow. And then that's the glitter if you were very extravagant. I was trying to look for one specific. There's clean armor. Do clean armor for this guy. I wanted to look for one very specific. Oh, the super heavy rust. So yeah, heavy rust like that. That looks virtually indistinguishable color wise. Like if we pick red, does it? Yeah, you can still see it looks used. Well used. So light rust I think is the jam there. I also wanted to see. Okay, I was wondering if the caution or the yeah the caution stripe would do any kind of coloring. It just kind of gives it a weathered look. Nothing too crazy, but looks great. Looks spectacular. And then finally the small grid. I already talked about this. Ignore that for a second. Small grid welder just looks good. The hosing, just everything. Everything looks good. What's it say here? Type A, got a barbecue, barcode is what I meant to say, not a barbecue. It's got, for some reason, RCA ports in case you want to plug in your old school Nintendo to your welder. I, I don't know. But it looks good. I love the detailing, the design. It's great. I think it's got the same range. I think it's everything the same. It's just a pretty block. And then this is the brand new tiny ore detector. Same functionality as before, just detects ore. It's got this like rock explosion texture. Um, looks good. Ore detector type 2, and here it is in big boy mode. Spins, so I know a lot of people love that. I like these like signal panels thing and how they detect. I think this is going to be beautiful for that stuff. I wonder, did they? They didn't. So you can't attach a camera to it in any space. Well, down there. So you could effectively, if you're using the spectrometry thing, you could slap a camera right there and it even sticks to the surface so it doesn't look like it's just, it looks a little floaty. Not too bad, but a little bit floaty. I could have just slapped down an energy thing on my platform, but I did not want to do that. So, finally, last but not least, not last but not least. So the next things we've got this insect terrarium. You got this spastic butterfly. You've got ants hauling ass right there. It's just another idea for a fish tank type thing. You can see you get just different bugs, kind of giving it a like to add to that sort of flavor, similar to the fish tank, where you've got block looks really good on the backside. There's nothing super special about it. Nothing on top. It's just the corner window thing similar to the fish tank. And same with a Earth-like. This is the desert style insect terrarium for insects. And I thought I remembered that like another thing popped out at some point, but I don't. And then this is the insect forest terrarium, sort of Earth-like. Um, you know, vibrant butterflies, snail guy hanging out right there. Um, just kind of an extra blocks just to look at. Warning high pressure. It does use gravity components, so like similar to the other one. Actually, yeah, it does. One gravity component. Now, next are warning signs. We've got a new radiation warning sign. We've got a new mess hall sign, and we've got another sign that I didn't that is already on the floor, and I didn't grab the other one. I meant to do that. Let's do this right here. Oh, it's already on the floor. So we'll just do that real quick because it's cold. We want to got a new cold sign, so if it's cold, cold planet, caution cold beyond this point, mess hall, things like that. Just extra signs, nothing super crazy. Like I do like it's just extra decorative blocks and things like that. It lets you add some character to your stuff. And then we've got these. These are the food storage bins. You can put, I think you could put pretty much only food in here, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I could be wrong. Let's see. You could definitely put food in there. Can you put parts? Okay, so these operate similar to the cargo crates that we already have, but they're like canvas bags. They look like food bins, stuff like that. Great for decorating a cargo ship or a transport ship. They've got variations. This is what they're like colored, uncolored. Um, so you've got this one is a 12,000 liter set. This one is a 45,000 liter or 4,500 liter set. And then we've got ourselves a little 1,500 liter set canvas bag type thing. You can see a little zipper on it. It's pretty cool. And it's just different designs, so you can, give yourself some flavor. And then, once again, large grid ore detector. It's got some cool greebling around the sides there. I don't think there's anything special on the bottom. There's not. Although it has got a cool like grid design. Kind of like a heat sink maybe. It might be. And then the same with the little baby guy. I think it just looks really cool. And it'll be nice. Like not the other order sectors particularly like terrible or anything, but it'd be nice to see. And then I think if you turn it off, it's just stops spinning. I was hoping it would close up, but it doesn't. But it does stop spinning, so that's kind of cool. Gives you like a visual indication. Hey, look, this is on, this is off, that kind of thing. And as far as I know, obviously the range is going to be 150 max. Um, I'm pretty sure a lot of the mods that I have are not currently working, so that's going to be max range there. And then on the little guy, I'm almost positive the max range is still 50, yeah, which is sometimes feels pretty useless. All right, lastly, but not leastly, we have ourselves the new version 2 survival kit. Now, a couple of things about the survival kit. We can come back over here, grab this stuff. And also, I'm going to come up here really quick, and we're going to let me grab something from inventory. So we should now have a substantial amount of algae. So we're gonna come over here. Survival kit, gotta refresh. And if we look at the old school version, wherever that's at, you'll notice it's got basically conveyors on either side, no bottom, no top. So this one, same thing, except for now it's vertical oriented. So you've got conveyor bottom, conveyor top, still two-sided. It's just now it's oriented this way. Cool little panel here. Still recharges you just like the other one does. Little med kit design, stuff like that. Little cargo door you can access from the front, which I love. And then now you can do things like this. And the survival kit, one of the things that it can do, because it's the thing you drop to the planet with, like it can obviously craft quite a few things as far as basic weapons, ammunition, and then it can make kelp crisps. So you can get yourself one of these. Like I said, these only give you, I think it's 12% full fuel food, but surviving 12% means not death. And from everything I've heard, again, then you just take a little snacky snack, take that, eat that, you're good. And then there's going to be some other stuff we're going to talk about once we get into this, but this is the large grid version. It looks really good. I think I kind of like the top and bottom orientation, although I think it's going to be weird when we put it on a rover. And now for the rover, or for this small grid, um, basically you see a large conveyor port bottom, large, and then two small on top. I think that is very similar to, excuse me, I think that was, I done a weird, that is very similar to the other one, in which you had one large and two small. I think this one actually looks pretty good anyways, but the fact that they did is, gave us an updated one, like it's got some good greebling on the backside, some cool piping, stuff like that. And then it's upright so you can, I don't know, just different orientation. So you get some flavor there. It's got some cool design aesthetics. I think it looks good. I think this is a neat addition. And then we already talked about our inset planter spinning guide that you can do. I think it would be cool, which these don't, the bars don't spin. It'd be cool if you get them off center, but you can't. So, but yeah, so that's it. That is all the DLC stuff. $4.99 nets you a bunch of stuff. Um, you kind of got to decide, like, like, I don't know, I've gotten so much time out of Space Engineers. I do not see, the 4.99 to me, that's a great value for all the, I mean, you're getting tons of blocks, like you're getting tons of design stuff. You're gonna be able to flavor up your ship some, get a little different. Like, I'm excited to build with the new drills and stuff. Like, I don't want to just go grab the Huggy Bear and slap on one of these drills. I wanna go and make a whole new ship based around that design. Crates and stuff, same thing. So, all right, now we come over here to our lovely thing. All of our crops are in finished state. We've seen them dead. We've seen them growing. 100% growth. Crop health, look at that. That's what they all look like, fully grown out. And now, if you were an enterprising young man and you wanted to build your thing like this, you turn that on. You click this button here, and we see if it harvests it. I don't know if it needs to be directly over it. I took a gamble thinking maybe it didn't. It looks like that is not close enough to it to harvest. So, that being said, what we can do is we can go here. We're just going to do one for point of reference. Velocity, let's go. We're going to put you down to, let's say 40 degrees. Beautiful. I love it. It's everything I've ever wanted. And then we're going to go back and add, I don't have the collector on my bar anymore, I don't think. Real quick, I can slap that on. Just do this right there. Oh, that's going to be way too much. Okay. Hey! Well, it harvested that guy. Good for us. So let's put it right. We'll say it needs to be, I think we could put the lower limit to -20. Yeah. So now, with like that, we can basically do the extension. And we had this set up to obviously you could point it directly down if you wanted to, and that would be equally good, but it should not work for some reason. Okay. Let's see if we can't figure out what's going on there. So, hmm. Okay, let's try that at 23%. So this is obviously an incomplete design, but I just wanted to see if this would do what we wanted it to do. And you could set this up to be on a single button, or it just won't collect at all. That's really strange. Is that thing turned on? It is. Okay, well, you know what they say. I don't know what they say. What do they say? All right, let's bring it back and see if it scrapes. I just am trying not to destroy the whole dang thing, but... Huh. It just slurped the other one up like right away, no problems whatsoever. That's really, right, that's odd. That everyone here agrees that that's a little odd. I agree it's odd. We're going to try 26% and we're going to see if it blows up. Yay, explosions. Getting ready to explode. I really expected that to work. That's crazy. Okay, let's try... I don't... It is definitely on. Hmm. Well, I don't know why I collected the first one and it refuses to collect any other ones, but here you are. You can't get any closer than that, so I wonder if let's do this. We're gonna see if this works. I don't know where I put that on my bar, so let's see if that breaks everything. It needs to be closer, it looks like, but I don't know how to make it close. Oh, no. What? Alright, explain that to me, fellas. I don't know. Anyways, so you could do something like this. For your harvesting needs, you could have it on both sides. And then, yeah, effectively just sort of an auto harvester. There is no auto planter at this time. I guarantee that's coming. Someone's gonna mod that without any problems. That's just gonna happen. So there we go. That's planting. There's no auto planting. That's harvesting. Um, just for proof of concept, if we wanted to, let's go ahead and go blap. Blap blap. Grab that there. And we send it on its way. Well, is that close enough to collect all those? Sure is. So about a block height. Since these are half block, you're looking at a half block for collection space. And there you go. And then you can use your food processor to turn those all back into seeds. And then you might even be able to set this up in a system. And the good news is it won't pull this early. But you might be able to set this in a system like if the event controller had the options to do some stuff like that. So that's the Apex Survival Update. That's kind of what it looks like. I know you're probably going to see 1,000 of these today. I think what we're going to see is I'm going to blow this one out pretty quickly. And then I want to see, let's see. We've got cargo field. I wanted to see if there's anything plant-wise they added to this. Thrust, rotor, power output, pistons, natural gravity. Grid speed, distance, cockpit, blah, 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 blah. Nope. So I guarantee that's probably coming. They're either going to add this or they're not. But basically, you could set up an event controller that says as soon as plants hit 100, activate pistons. They come harvest, and then you're good to go. And it might even be like as soon as plant is growth is at 100% and health is at 100%, activate pistons to harvest crop. Um, that's kind of the thing though, guys. I appreciate you coming along for today. Uh, I think we got one more thing to do, so I'll catch you in just a few moments. Alrighty, we're back. So, if you wanted to start a new game to play with the new systems, so obviously all your scenarios just like it's always been, but I would do star systems, custom, offline because I'm not playing with people. Auto saves fine with me. Max backup saves fine is 5 is fine with me. For mods, the things that I would probably look at doing mod wise, if I were gonna want to play for, I would do colorful icons, camera panning, build vision, build info. These things, they just, and clear camera, these things are just, they make life, they make life a little bit better. I like the compass. I like the sleep mod because you're going to want to pass the night sometimes. Sneaky sounds for quieter drilling and all of those things, very important. Um, I would also probably do, I still like relative top speed because it just makes things faster. I'm going to add resource nodes and I'll explain that here in a second. Uh, and I love the thruster looks of these thrusters, like non-vanilla thruster stuff. And I don't know that I care about this right here. And radio spectrometry is something I think is a neat, also something you should want to use. Smooth voxels, if you're going to do a lot of rover stuff, is definitely important. But the rest, we're going to, scope framework is probably useful. And then binoculars, I think would be a cool one to have. Just so you can look at stuff. Autofill bottles, important. Auto ore pickup, very maybe not important. Auto closed doors if you don't want to build. Although with the auto closed doors, what we could do is require, instead of using auto closed doors, you can just set up sensor panels to do that. Maybe we walk through that. So these are some of the things. Auto ore pickups, I'll just hold F. Autofill bottles so that when I'm fill up at a reef station, like it fills my bottles. I don't have to like put them in and out. I think that's useful. Binoculars, because they're connected, right? Like if these bottles are connected to your suit that's keeping you alive and you fill that up via a recharge station, wouldn't it also then fill up your bottle that is connected to your suit, providing support? Yes, is the answer. Is to me, that's the answer. Um, Advanced welding for detaching and attaching blocks. I think that's cool. We could just use the other one. Where was the other thing that I wanted to look up? I can't remember. Improve atmospheric visuals for look. I think that's you can't beat it. Uh, I wanted to say paint guns very useful as well. Sci-fi buttons great. Sci-fi LCDs. These things were awesome last round. I think I love it. So it's not a lot of mods. It's actually a lot of mods, but relative speed mod because 100 meters per second I don't think is I just think it could be better. And I also like that this slows ships down as they get larger. It also slows things down. Or you are able to boost past 100 meters per second to catch things so that you're not just stuck in an endless chase. Um, and then the resource node, I'm going to tell you why I think that one is something that I would do. I would say just from a voxel deformation standpoint and ice collection, if you're on an ice lake and you don't want it to look like drilled utter mess, having the resource mod so you can just use it to drill ice or set up drilling stations, I think it adds an interesting gameplay mechanic outside of just drill, 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 drill. So that being said, we'll we'll kind of go through it. So similar efficiency 3 is fine. That's fine. That's fine. Character inventory size, I do 5x because I'm just that kind of guy. Um, View distance, I like 30k. We're gonna try 40. Floating object limit, I don't care for this too much. Max blocks for this, we're not gonna have that. Environment, I don't like lightning damage. It's irritating. Enable weather, yes. Enable radiation, yes. Enable sun rotation, yes. Now, radiation hazards require air tightness. That means storms that provide radiation, like so if you go to the ice planet, or you go to planets without atmosphere, or planets like Pertan that have radiation storms. Day duration, I'm a 4 hour guy because I'd like to be able to be in the light more often than not. Asteroids, normal density, meteor activity, normal, that's fine with me. World size unlimited is fine with me. Arcade sounds fine with me. Solar radiation intensity, I'm not going to turn that on just yet. This is like if you want real hard mode in space, solar radiation is the thing you need. Enable auto healing, yes. Delete runs, nope, don't do that. I do not want auto respawn. I loathe it. This makes you, when you die, you come back to the last place. You can't pick a place, and that's obnoxious. Enable oxygen, yes. Air tightness, yes. Respawn ships, yes. Enable progression, no. Unless you really want to go through progression, I don't feel like doing that right now. Enable spacesuit respawn, you don't want to do that. Well, you can. I don't really care. Spawn with tools, also don't really care about that too much. Um, Optimal spawn distance. This is interesting. Optimal distance in meters the game should take to consider when spawning new player nearby. That's really, if you're playing multiplayer, you might want to look into that. Ship cooldown is disabled. That's fine. Consumption, I'm gonna go slow because I've heard that on moderate it's rough. Survival buffs is something we hadn't talked about, but basically when you survive X number of days, you start to get buffs for how fast you can run, how much health you can have, all those things. Um, and then reduce stats respawns. I'm kind of weird on this one. I'm going to leave it on for now, but I have a weird thought about it. My primary weird thought about this is that if you expire, when a clone is created from the loins of Mother Tube and Clang, I feel like you're going to come out healthy. You might come out hungry, but you're going to come out healthy. So this is a weird one. We're going to leave it on, but I don't know that I would, I don't know that that's the move I would make in terms of it. When cargo ships, yes. Drones, yes. Economy, random encounters, we're going to do wolves. Planetary encounters, yes. Spiders, yes. Unknown signals, yes. Animal NPC limit, 32 sounds like a lot of bugs, but that's fine. Global encounter cap, what's this? Maximum number of global visible in-game encounters set to 0 to disable encounter type. So you can have two. Okay. One's fine. You never jump in between that many. Random encounter density, normal. So this is interesting. I didn't. This must be new. Um, we're gonna try normal density and see what that looks like. Destructive blocks, we do want that. Aim assist, sure, because I'm terrible at aiming. Bounty contracts, yes, 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 yes. Max offline broadcast distance. I never mess with this, so sure, that's fine. Enable spectator camera. I do love that. Copy pasta is fine for that type of mode. Scrap drones. Yes, all this stuff is good. No reason to turn these things off. In-game scripts. Share inertial tensors. I don't. These two, I'm not too worried about those. Unsupported stations, I don't love, so we're gonna not do that. Adaptive simulation quality. Permanent death, no. Reset ownership, no. Subgroup damage, no. Enable super gridding, also no. I don't. I'm not, maybe at some point, but I don't plan to build in a way where you can do this. Basically, super gridding to be used, making it possible to connect large and small grids in unsupported ways. Yeah, I don't have reasons. NPC limit, no limits. So that's what I had. These are the choices I would make. And then we start, and this is going to be a tiny little mini series on survival and getting started in survival. Earth mechanics. I do know they created a brand new drop pod. Instead of a drop pod, it's a drop rover. That's spectacular. How many people have done the drop pod, bless its heart, and come down to planet and then turn it into a rover, turn it into a tiny flyer, turn it into a miner. It's a weird shaped ship. It makes sense as a drop pod. But now we pick our planet. We do Earth-like drop pod. Look at it. It looks great. And apparently these are randomized. So click this. We spawn in. Hey, I got a green one. Burr, burr, burr. Comes with a parachute. Already on bar, maybe. Maybe not. Okay, yeah, it does. Perfect. Look at this little guy. Did you just look at it? I don't know what piece of block. I don't know what block that is there in the middle part, but that looks good. This thing is great. I love this little rover. Park, and they put park on the bar. Look at this. Look, where's my mouse? They put park on the bar. Look at it. They put cockpit park on off on the bar. Instead of pressing P, don't press P, kids. That's so good. Look at it. Look at this thing. Now, if we duck down, what block is that? Is it just a heavy block unwelded? Yeah, it's just a heavy block of block. I love that vent look. Looks good. Man, Keen. Always killing it. They're designers. I, they're just good. Survival kit's not the new one because that's DLC only. They wouldn't do that. Ladder so you can get on top of your car easily. Ore detector. That antenna, you got yourself an oxygen tank, the small one. This is sucking in oxygen so you get constant air. This is going to protect you from big storms and radiation. And you got a hydrogen tank to give you some sweet, sweet hydrogen. Small grid. I love that it includes these two things because previously there wasn't a hydrogen tank on the drop pod. You just had an O2H2 generator. And I believe, do we have, I love the spare tire, how it's belted down under there. That's freaking great. Survival kit. Let's see what else is on board this thing. We've got ourselves one battery antenna, air vent, sucking in air, cockpit, event controller. Does it have any action set up? It does. Oh, it turns the gyro on and off. But why? Turn gyro on when altitude is less than 8. Oh, cool. So it turns it on once you get to the... I see. Interesting. Okay. Gyroscope, interior lights, ore detector, parachute hatch, small hydrogen tank, small oxygen wheels. So no H2O2H2 generator. Interesting. That means that means quite a few things. I've heard, by the way, this little rover is very hard to flip. Like it takes some effort. Um, so it's a great starting rover because like you can get it to turn, but it corrects pretty easy. It's a great starting rover. This thing is great, guys. And then to conserve your power, obviously we turn this guy off there. Um, but look at it. That looks good. I love this thing. Um, I could see using this for quite a while. Maybe putting a drill, like a hinge and a drill on it so you can take it and do some drilling. Oh, you know what I didn't look for? What else does it come with? You get yourself a nice gun, some algae packs. Oh, and that right there, you see the food. If we started at 98%, if you hold shift and press B, I do not have any active buffs, and that is because I just spawned in, and you have to get buffs, you have to survive X amount of days. We have 98 food. Um, we have some algae in the car, a gun, and a notepad that will give us the coordinates. It says, yeah, this is great. Create GPS marker. Let's see where that marker put us. I think I have the GPS markers turned off. I do. Respawn pod. Switch to normal display. Where did that put that marker? Let's check GPS real quick. Got a respawn pod. I do. So always show 15 kilometers that way. So if we wanted to, we could make a trip that direction and just start heading towards that station, and that could be where we start up. Yeah, but this is going to be a quick mini series. We're going to kind of get farming underway. We're going to give it a good shake. Do some driving. I wanted to play with the new rover. I love the way this thing looks. Like I said, it's good. Um, I'm hopeful for mod authors, and people of the like. I'm hoping at some point that they do us the great service of modding in new animals that are not wolves. I have a hard time, even when it's trying to eat my face, I just don't want to shoot a wolf and eat a wolf. So like if we can make it a bison or a angry warthog or just a walking kebab that you just do. And I think I see our first plant. Fruit bush. Did we get it? Hey. Maybe. No. Why not? Are you a bush? Whoa, 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 whoa. This definitely looks like a bush you could harvest, right? I'm losing my mind here. Well, not it. Okay, on to the next. Anyways, we're going to do this. This is going to be just a quick series. I don't plan to stop. That's a bush right there. I don't plan to stop the series wholesale. Um, Look at this. No, it's good looking fauna, or flora rather. Man, twice I've been duped by the bushes of Keen. That sounds like a like a Highlander, the bushes of Keen. This is something we're gonna work on. We're gonna go through this. It's gonna be a fun time, I think. Is this a bush with berries on it, or is that just regular leaves? Regular leaves. Okay, I have no idea how dense these things spawn in. I do know that if you hit the mushroom log, which is where mushrooms grow, I guess, if you hit them at speed, it will absolutely nuke the mushrooms. There's no saving mushrooms if you plow through it in a violent way. What about this? Does this look like a bush with berries on it? It doesn't. Man, these are tricky, tricky. All the stuff I'd seen so far kind of had them like be fairly obvious, and now I think they've got the blending done right. Did they like dirty like background patch? Ooh, there's a stone up here. I love stones. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. We're gonna head towards this IDTL station. Do a little park job right here, and get out on the car. If there are wolves, you can just hop up on here and then they can't come get you, and that's important. You really want to not be gotten. Uh, let's see if I can get this. There we go. Did it let me wave at least? I bet it didn't because I already have my tools out, and that tends to happen. All right, guys. If you enjoyed this, you know what to do. Check out the Apex Survival Update. I'm excited. I know some people are like, food's not really my jam. It doesn't do it for me. Because they're sometimes implemented poorly. This looks like it could be really fun. So I'm excited. I'm excited for that. I'm excited to kind of give it a go. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming along, tagging along, singing a song. So I'll catch you later, taters. And as always, be kind. Bye.